There's one profound truth I've learned. It's this: your past is not your prison. Every mistake, every setback, every challenge is just merely data, a lesson learned. It does not define who you are right now or who you are capable of becoming. The key to cultivating a positive mindset is to embrace the present moment. We often allow the shadow of yesterday or the anxiety of tomorrow to steal the peace of today. I encourage you to actively choose to be present. That's where true growth happens.
The Mindset Manual with Myron Williams.
Welcome, everyone, to the Mindset Manual with your host, me, Myron Williams. This week, we're going to discuss emotional intelligence, recognizing your triggers and mastering your response. We're all entitled to lose control sometimes. We're only human after all. However, true emotional intelligence isn't just about being perfect. It's about those moments of awareness right before a reaction occurs. It's about knowing your triggers, understanding them, and actively trying to avoid them with intention. So how do you deal with unprovoked aggression? Let's talk about that. Have you ever been in a situation where someone approached you and they were already mad at you for little to nothing? You could tell they were already aggressive or acting out for no apparent reason. We have all experienced this. At that moment, you have a choice. You must take notice of this person and analyze what's happening without feeding into their negativity. That is emotional awareness. Immediately recognizing that this person is having a bad day or a negative energy has taken hold of them. You have to realize that their behavior isn't directed at you. Although it feels personal, it's actually directed at themselves and their own internal struggles. So let's talk about the power of walking away. Once you realize this, the emotional intelligent move is to remove yourself from the situation. Don't say anything. Don't try to diffuse it. Just walk away. More you speak, the worse it gets, because engaging stimulates your own volatile emotions. You have to shut it down and leave, knowing that this is a trigger for you and nothing good will come from entertaining it. If you stay, it could turn into a violent situation or simply ruin your day. But if you walk away, you will be happy you did. You'll look back later and say, wow, I didn't even let them get to me. I was a bigger person. That is emotional intelligence, controlling your emotions to become stronger and more aware. It's much easier to walk away from a stranger than it is to walk away from someone close to you. When it comes to friends or family, emotional intelligence requires significantly more practice and discipline. These situations can be mentally tough. Your triggers are deeper with people you know. However, we will work on these things. It takes time to learn how to handle those triggers and maintain your composure with loved ones, but the effort is necessary for growth. Strengthening your emotional intelligence will make life so much easier for you in the long run. How do we gain and strengthen this muscle? It takes time, patience, and self-work. It requires you to look at various situations where you reacted, reflect on them, and realize how you could have handled them better. Here at the Mindset Manual, we believe the work starts with calming yourself and finding your balance. Let's talk about the work that can be done building your emotional intelligence. It takes you calming yourself. It takes finding your balance, which is something we're all working on here at the Mindset Manual. If you are in balance and you walk with a certain level of peace, it will be very complicated for anyone to disturb that peace. There is a lot of personal joy in having balance and having peace. The likelihood of you crossing these negative people are way less because positive people will be drawn to your positive energy. But those negative people, they're out there and there's no way to completely avoid them. So working on your personal peace is what helps you when these encounters come along. Let's do a deep dive into power and the self-reflection of empathy. We've covered the first crucial step, recognizing your triggers and developing the awareness to walk away from external negativity. But emotional intelligence isn't just a defense strategy. It's a powerful tool for growth and connection. To truly master it, we need to focus on two more pillars: self-reflection and empathy. Self-reflection, the mirror to your emotions. Think of your mind as a busy city. If you never stop to look around, you'll never truly know what's going on inside. Self-reflection is the intentional act of stopping and observing. When you react to a situation, whether positively or negatively, take 5 minutes later that day to dissect it. Ask why. Don't just settle for, I was mad. Ask, why was I mad? Was it the specific comment or did the comment trigger a deeper insecurity? Was it exhaustion? Was it hunger? Often our emotional response is a cocktail of the immediate situation mixed with our current internal state. Journaling. A simple way to practice this is through journaling. It doesn't have to be a novel, just a few lines describing an emotional event and your reaction. Writing it down moves it from the chaotic feeling in your head to an observable pattern on the page. You start to see the trends that connect your past and present reactions. The process of self-reflection is how you move from reacting an instantaneous and often uncontrolled response to responding in a thoughtful, intentional way. The goal is to widen that space. And let's talk about empathy. Stepping into the other person's shoes. That's the power of empathy. If self-reflection is looking inward, empathy is deliberately looking outward. It's the ability to understand and share the feelings of the other person. Remember that Karen type of situation we talked about? When you realized they were probably having a bad day and their aggression wasn't really about you, that's the seed of empathy. The true emotional intelligence allows you to recognize someone else's emotional state without necessarily agreeing with their behavior. It lets you say, I see you're in pain, even if the person is expressing their pain in a destructive way. Non-judgmental listening goes a long way. The practice of active listening. When a loved one or a colleague is speaking, don't formulate your reply or think about how to fix their problem. Just listen to understand their feelings. Validate their emotion with a simple statement like, that sounds incredibly frustrating, or I can see why you feel hurt. This simple act often diffuses the situation far better than any advice could. Empathy with boundaries. It's vital to pair empathy with strong emotional boundaries. You can understand a person's pain without taking on the responsibility for their pain or allowing their negative behavior to infect you. This is the ultimate balancing act of emotional intelligence, caring deeply while protecting your peace. So let's talk about some practical, real-life techniques for building your toolkit. On-the-spot techniques you can deploy when you feel a trigger or a challenging emotional moment coming on. There's something called a 5x5 breathing rule. This is your emergency brake. When you feel your heart rate rising or your jaw clenching, stop. Inhale deeply through your nose for a slow count of 5. Hold for 5 and exhale slowly through your mouth for 5. Do this exercise 5 times. It forces your physiological system to slow down, shifting you from fight or flight state back to a place where you can think clearly. Next is the halt check. Before you react with a big emotion, especially with loved ones, quickly check. Am I hungry? Am I angry? Am I lonely? Am I tired? These four states dramatically lower your emotional intelligence reserves. If the answer is yes to any of them, the best response is often to address the underlying physical or emotional need first, not the problem that seems to be in front of you. Use I feel statements. When a tough conversation is necessary, focus on your internal experience. Instead of saying, "You're always late and it makes me mad," which is an accusation, try, "I feel stressed and undervalued when we start our meetings late because it makes me feel my time isn't respected." This communicates your emotion without attacking the other person, making them less likely to become defensive and more open to constructive conversation. Here's another technique that will sound very far-fetched, but it works really, really well. Schedule worry time. If you find yourself constantly ruminating over an incident or fear, schedule a short 15-minute worry time each day. When a worry pops up outside of that time, acknowledge it and tell yourself, "I'll deal with that during my scheduled worry time." This trains your brain to postpone disruptive thoughts and keeps your focus sharp and present in the moment. Remember, emotional intelligence isn't a destination you arrive at, it's a practice that you have to continue to work at. It's a daily commitment to being more aware of yourself and more understanding of others. Every time you successfully navigate a difficult encounter, every time you choose a thoughtful response over a reflexive reaction, you're building emotional muscle. You are becoming a stronger, more peaceful, and more intelligent person. And that is a journey worth taking. Thank you for tuning in to the Mindset Manual with me, Myron Williams. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications to receive updates on new episodes. We'll continue this conversation next time as we explore the connection between emotional intelligence and professional success. Until then, stay aware, stay balanced, and keep practicing that inner peace. Emotional intelligence, recognizing your triggers.
The Mindset Manual with Myron Williams.